Mr. Aluri, Ram Grojan here from the Ledbetter Golf Academy. Thank you for sending your swing in, and noticed you put an iron swing and a couple driver swings. Let's go ahead and look at the driver right now. I mean, body angles so far look good. I will say your alignment does, I'm not sure exactly where the target is, but your feet are aimed quite a bit to the right. Shoulders actually look like they're a bit more squared up to the target. So my first recommendation would be to get the feet, knees, hips, shoulders all in line with one another. Because you'll see kind of what happens in your swing with if our alignment is a little bit off. You look at the move away, actually pretty good sequencing here, letting the shoulders kind of initiate the turn and then the body getting into the wind. But knowing that if your feet are aimed to the right and our target's off to the left, we actually have to start down with our arms. And I do notice in both of the driver swings you tend to take a little bit of a divot with your driver. So that means our attack angle into the ball is just a little bit too steep. So that means you really got to feel like you're sweeping the ball off the tee rather than hitting down on it. Driver is definitely different than an iron. Iron, obviously, we can get away with it because we're trying to hit down, but a driver, we're trying to sweep it off the tee or catch it a bit more on the upswing. We'll see that from this side. Now, one thing I would recommend here is stance width just a little bit too wide. Let's go ahead and narrow that up. That'll actually allow you to rotate and move the weight much easier from right to the left on the through side. So as we get the club moving, love the sequencing. I mean, weight's moving over to the right, but what you're going to notice is on the way down, you can see you're actually starting your swing with your head, your arms, instead of the lower body first. So then your head's getting a little bit ahead of the shot. And then our attack angle with the driver is down, so there you see a little bit of divot actually before the ball. So we're hitting too much down on that ball. Now let me show you a picture. I'm going to keep you on that face-on view, but let me show you a gentleman by the name of David Frost playing the Champions Tour. And you see how his feet are a little bit closer together. Then you also see just a little bit of a tilt, which you have. Now another thing that I would recommend is moving that ball just a little bit more forward in your stance, more off the inside of that left foot rather than being maybe a couple inches inside that left foot. So now I'm going to put a circle around his head. And let me put a circle around your head. And then you're going to see as he winds, obviously the weight moves over to the right, but his head's staying very level. But then on the way down, you see how his head never gets in front of that circle. You can see how he's almost catching it a bit more on the upswing rather than on the kind of attacking it on the downward blow. So now as we get yours moving, I mean, I like how you're shifting your weight over to the right, but then on the way down, you're going to see how that head gets a little ahead of that circle. That means our attack angle is going to be way too steep, so there you see a little grass being moved with that driver. And there you see how he's kind of almost tilted back at impact. So really trying to launch the ball into the air rather than hitting down on it. I would assume that you sometimes hit a sky ball. It's not because the ball's teed up too high, it just means your attack angle coming down, so you're hitting the top part of the club. Now let's look at a face-on view, or a down-the-line view, I'm sorry. Let's see his setup again. There you see a bit more paralleled up. In fact, I want you to make note that he has a target line, or a little stick in between him and the ball. That's getting his feet, knees, hips, and shoulders all in line with one another. That is something I would definitely recommend you do. So as he gets the club up to the top, very quiet swing. I mean, I love the length of your swing. It's not overly long. I like it. But then on the way down, you can kind of see how his lower body initiates the downswing rather than where you see your upper body initiate. So your attack angle gets a little bit steep. Take a little bit of turf with the driver, and he's just sweeping it right off that tee. Really trying to catch it a bit more on the upswing rather than on the downswing. Now, just a little thought with the irons. Again, here you see, the alignment. Really need to get those feet, knees, hips, and shoulders. So practice with a stick on the ground, pointing at your target, and then your feet, knees, hips, and shoulders parallel to it. But you're going to see kind of the same thing here. Not too long, but again, we start with the upper body first, head kind of diving in towards the ball. A little bit steep, and there you see the fairly deep divots coming into it. So we really need to get a little more sensation of sweeping the ball off the ground rather than trying to dig into the ground. So good luck with this, and good golf.